The Kinzer Mind and Body Podcast.
Neuroplasticity is your brain's ability to reformulate itself and its conditions based on new experiences. There's actually a study recently that I saw. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it showed that a lack of new experiences ages the brain. And of course, your nervous system, everything's connected to the brain. So a lack of new experiences does not force the brain to adapt, it does not challenge the brain. And so whatever you don't use doesn't go to waste, but it sort of isn't pushed to a point of strengthening and evolution. Neuroplasticity is sort of our way out. If you study neuroplasticity enough, you see that all I have to do is show my brain the type of person that I want it to align with. And over time and through repetition, it will literally, physically reform itself to match my desired state of being. And a lot of people will do this for a week and they say, Kinzer, it's not working. It's going to take longer than a week. It may even take longer than a month. But if you're looking for real change, and I'm not saying nothing's going to happen in that month, a lot is going to happen in that month. But I'm saying if you want to get to the point where you are now and where you want to be, you want to sort of forget about the practice and almost not even need it, you're going to have to deeply involve yourself in the practice first. The neuroplastic, that's a sort of a hard word to say, but then the way to go about it in terms of forcing your brain to adapt and forcing your brain to support this new version of you, you need to show it through actions. If you want your brain to represent better self-worth and self-value, then don't accept less from people. Don't degrade yourself in relationships. Don't value yourself. Don't dim your light when in social settings. Don't do any of these things because this shows your brain that you're the old version of yourself and not the new version of yourself. Don't hyperfixate looking in the mirror. Don't hyperfixate fixing your hair if you want to embody true and genuine confidence. It's the little fixations. It's these little activities that feed the system in the brain to create an identity for you. In the brain, even if the thoughts are noise and even if the thoughts are ridiculous, you're going to receive a lot of thoughts that portray how your subconscious views who you are as a person. So it's about showing the brain repeatedly, this is who I am. And we do that through action. This is the mistake people make. They think that because neuroplasticity is real and our brain can reformulate itself, that just thinking different thoughts are enough. But that's still brain, that's still mind stuff. But nothing changes the brain more than action driven in the present moment. Or should I say, actions taken in the present moment. Nothing proves to the mind more than actual supporting evidence. We don't understand who the character is in the movie through their thoughts, because their thoughts don't represent who they are. In a movie, most movies, given where we don't see the inner dialogue of a person's character, we are judging the character based off how they are acting in the movie, right? And it's the same way people see you, and it's the same way your brain sees yourself. Your brain sees who you are. It sees the character you're playing. It sees the identity that you are embodying in your life through actions. It doesn't care that in your thoughts you start to tell yourself, oh, I'm this person, oh, I'm that person, but then your actions don't represent that same truth. And you'll see that you can try for a long time to force your brain to act a certain way, but until you provided evidence, it's not going to develop the self-belief that you want it to. And this is going to have a large impact on your socialization skills and your even skills for work, school, whatever else, because you can apply this to anything. It's almost a superpower when repeated time and time again. The longer you repeat it, the more powerful it becomes. Most people give up too soon. That's the problem. They give up before the compounding happens because, okay, first, you focus on not fixing your hair or not looking at your phone when you walk into public settings. That's the first. But once you sort of establish that notion in autopilot, then you move on to the next. And then you move on to the next. Ever so tackling and conquering every little part of yourself that you wish to transmute and change. And remember that you owe no loyalty to the version of yourself that you are right now, because even the version of yourself right now has been conditioned through neuroplasticity. Whether it's others people influence or whether it's just a natural unfolding of who you are through your past experiences, you were conditioned to be the person that you are now. And there is no shame in conditioning yourself to be someone different, and conditioning yourself to be someone who is more at peace, who's more satisfied with life, and who is more capable of creating an external life for themselves that mirrors that state of being. Because I'm not a big proponent of mental and spiritual practices and them being void of real life. The whole point is that we have to embed everything we learn into real life. We have to make our practices so powerful that when embodying them and when practicing them in real life, they have real physical change. Our environment changes, our relationships change, our career change, everything changes as a result of the mental practices, not because we're doing them alone in our room, but because we're challenging ourselves. We're going out of our comfort zone and we're showing our brain, this is the type of person I am. This is the type of confidence that I walk with. This is the self-belief that I possess. When neuroplasticity is used in this sort of unconscious wrong way, we can sort of self-sabotage ourselves with beliefs and with ideas of who we are. And I think a lot of that has to do with a sort of addiction to who we are as a person. And that's the trap. That's the matrix, as I always say. It's your thoughts, beliefs, and your ego. If you have not yet realized, or if a person has not yet realized that who they are is just a system, is just a combination of different ideas, different thoughts, different self-associations, they'll think that the personality they embody is just the hand of cards they've been dealt by the universe, by God, whatever. They'll think that is their sort of dharma. That is the person that they have to be. That their addictive nature is just a part of who they are, that their lack of confidence is just something that's embedded in them, that their antisocial nature is something that happens naturally. But all of these things were learned even at an unconscious level. Even if you were from 1 to 8 years old, these things were learned. Even if you learned this by watching your parents, anything that has been learned, it's all conditioned to you. And it can all be changed. Everything can be changed. The only constant is awareness. The only constant is the very fact that you exist. That's why I say, always in my posts, to be anything you want, you have to first be nothing. You have to first realize that who you are is simply a human, void of any labels, void of any character traits, void of any legacy, or void of any sort of story that has come before you defining who you are. If you erase all of that, which you can, if you take away all that you have, which can also be very possible, what are you left with? You're left with just a human being. That's it. And that's what the brain can see as well when we sort of bring it back to a clean slate. There's not enough time to wait around for change to happen. We have to take it into our very own hands. We have to show our brains through action repeatedly every single day. This is the person I am. Otherwise, nothing will change. Start dancing with reality. See how important and see how much can I influence the very effects that happen. How can I influence the system and the synchronicities of my reality by simply taking different actions here and there, even if they are little ones. Even if you're at the grocery store and you strike up a conversation, this signals confidence. Even if when you walk into a room, you don't look at your phone, you make eye contact with someone, this signals confidence as well. These little things feed the algorithm and system of who you are. And the system of who you are directly impacts the feedback of the system of reality. They are intertwined. So train your mind, don't blame it. All right, on to the next question. Let's see.